Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome to Memphis. Also, happy Thanksgiving. I hope everybody's having a great holiday. I got a lot of family and friends that ask me about how I conceal, and also they ask me about how I can do it without any discomfort or any pain. Hopefully this video is going to answer some of those questions for you. Here's my disclaimer, okay? This is not a period of instruction, and I'm not doing this video as an instructor. I'm also not doing this video on the behalf of any school or organization. I'm just here talking to my friends and family. That's it. Also, I'm talking to you specifically from my unique perspective. I'm a black dude. I'm 5'10". I'm weighing in at 260 pounds. I have a 44-inch waist and I'm 30% body fat. Your mileage may vary, okay? Your body is very unique. We're going to talk a little bit more about how to understand the different intricacies of your body and where exactly that gun is going to hide better for you. So why don't people carry? A lot of my friends and family don't carry because number one, it hurts, and number two, they can't hide the gun. That's as simple as I could put it. When people first pick up a firearm, they usually pick up whatever holster's on the rack. They slide the gun into the holster, and then they try to stick it somewhere on their body that they think would be convenient. And then what happens is when they cover it up with a shirt, they can see it, right? And it's printing, and they don't know how to fix it. There are certain things that I look for in a holster, and they may not necessarily be available to you locally. You might just have to order them online, and by all means avoid Amazon and eBay. Those are not great places for you to buy a holster. So what do I look for in a holster? Number one, the main reason we even mess with holsters is because you need to protect this thing right here. You need to protect the trigger. And some of these holsters are so poorly made that they're actually dangerous. Let's take a look at this one that I found on eBay, and you can see how the trigger guard right there is dimpled. As you tighten up your belt or, as you move around through the day, what can happen is there will be more pressure that's applied directly to the trigger, and there'll be enough pressure to where that gun will actually fire. And a lot of that is the fault of the manufacturer. They get a gun, they heat up some Kydex, they kind of wrap it around the gun and they press it until it kind of makes a mold like this. And then they stick a clip on here. But that's not a holster. That's not what a holster does. And this right here is not particularly safe. Let's compare that to a holster like this with JM Custom Kydex. And you can see inside of that trigger guard is this big, deep cavern. And that right there is going to do a lot more to protect the trigger guard. So when I put this plastic gun in here, you can see that there is nothing getting inside that trigger guard right there. It's going to protect the trigger. So another thing that the holster needs to be able to do is keep the gun in position. My draw stroke depends on that gun being in the same position at all times, okay? If it's changing around too much, if it's shifting, that's a bad thing, all right? I need this gun to be here. Not here, not here, but here. So it needs to be able to protect the trigger. It needs to be able to keep the gun in position. And your holster also needs to be able to hide your gun, okay? That's the whole reason why we carry handguns instead of shotguns, instead of rifles. Trust me, if I could carry around a 12 gauge, that's what I would carry around on a daily basis. I would, but I can't hide that on my body. Still working on it. It should be able to hide right here on your body. And it needs to do all of this stuff without any discomfort or pain. So it needs to protect the trigger. It needs to keep the gun in position. It needs to hide the gun, and it needs to do all of that without any pain or discomfort. Holsters that meet all of those criteria are usually going to be made by companies and organizations that actually know how to carry and that train regularly. I see a lot of chatter online, like Facebook and YouTube. It might be a little bit of printing right here, and folks will be like, okay, that's not too bad. Soccer moms aren't going to notice that, or non-gun people are not going to notice that. I'm not concerned about non-gun people. I'm not concerned about soccer moms. What I'm concerned about is that felon that just got out after doing 9 years in prison, because he just got out of an environment where he's surrounded by security cameras, armed guards, drug dogs, and they're still able to get in drugs, contraband, weapons, knives, guns, cell phones. If you have a guy that's been operating in that environment and he's able to sneak stuff into that, he's going to know you have a gun on you, and he's going to be willing to take it from you. So it's important to me to be able to hide the gun. So how do we do that? There's a holster maker called PHLster, and they talk a lot about peaks and valleys, finding where on your body that gun actually fits on you, okay? So peaks are areas that are a little bit more raised. And this is where your clothing really rests, okay? If you put your gun on a peak, it's almost certainly going to print. What you want are valleys, okay? Valleys are these areas down here where your clothes will typically drape over them. What you can do is you can just move around your body to see, okay, where is this gun going to hide? And still, you need to consider your mobility. Like this right here may not give you the best mobility. So what you may want to do is move it around a little bit more to where you can find out the place that's optimal for you, or even the angle, okay? Like I like my stuff canted a little bit like this. And so if you just stuck the gun in here like this, you'll probably still have some trouble. Where a lot of people start off is 3 o'clock. And when it comes to 3 o'clock holsters, this one right here by JM Custom Kydex ends up doing a really good job. I'm gonna talk about these holes here in a little bit. Let's talk about cant for just a second. That right there ends up doing okay if you're shooting competitively or if you have a duty holster. The problem is when you try to conceal it. And so there's almost always going to be some print there. Even though I was able to conceal with the other holsters, right here, I'm getting a pretty high degree of print, especially if I have to bend over and pick up something. So one thing that helped me out a lot was maybe moving that gun a little bit more to 3:30, 4 o'clock, maybe even 4:30, and giving it what's called the FBI cant, okay? That's a 15-degree cant. And yeah, it's gonna take you a little bit more practice to get to that holster, but it reduces the concealment profile. It allows your gun to ride inside this valley right here underneath your shirt. And so it makes it a lot more concealable at 3 o'clock. Sometimes, even when you go over to pick something up. So that's what I have to say about 3 o'clock holsters. This right here is made by JM Custom Kydex, and it has the DCC monoblock, DCC standing for Discrete Carry Concepts. This is how I used to carry. I don't carry like this anymore. Nowadays, I carry Appendix. And so the reason for that is because on my body, it's more concealable and the gun is more accessible. When I'm driving or I'm sitting down or I'm eating or anything like that, and I do a lot of eating, I'm able to more readily have access to my gun, and I'm able to draw it from the holster faster and more consistently. I think the biggest mistake that people have with Appendix is that what happens is either A, they either pick up something off the shelf that's not really made for their body, or B, they try to get a holster that's made for 3 o'clock and they try to convert it to Appendix. Like what I tried to do with this JM Custom Kydex holster. I tried to drill holes for a wing and it did not work out. I ended up just, ponying up the cash to actually buy a legit Appendix holster. So there's a couple of things that make this holster very usable. One of these is called the wing. What this does is it rotates the grip deeper into your body and it makes that gun more concealable. So if you could look right here, this right here is the claw, and you can see how that claw rotates that gun, the grip of the gun, deeper into your body so it's more in line with your frame. And this is how it looks with the shirt. You can see how it prints right here, and so with the claw, it sucks that gun deeper into your body, okay? And so what you see right here, you see this little piece right here where it prints, and what this does is it sucks that gun deeper into your body. I'm just gonna press on the claw itself, and you can see how it sucks that gun deeper into your body. Now, one thing you're gonna notice is right here, right? You still have some printing right here. So what is that? That's the back of the slide. So how do we conceal that? We use the wedge. A wedge is nothing more than, it's a piece of foam that's cut into a triangle. And all you do is you attach it to the back of the holster. It tilts the entire gun towards your body. So that wedge has now tucked the slide deeper into the body. So now it's gone. A lot of times if you look online, stuff like this, I got this from JM Custom Kydex, and they're gonna charge you an extra $15 for a wedge like this, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, this right here is known as a yoga block, okay? People actually use this for yoga. You can buy 2 of these on Amazon for $15. So for the same price that this costs, you can get 2 of these. Imagine how many of these you can make out of this. Also, I'm a little bit bigger of a dude and I carry bigger guns, so this wedge right here is a little small for me. I like having a much bigger wedge like this. And so now, because I've made it myself, I'm able to have a steeper angle with more material and it ends up being a lot more comfortable for me. Now, some folks will still experience hot spots, especially when you're first starting off. That area down there is just a little, sensitive. So there's a company called Mastermind Tactics that made this. And this right here is just a pillow. It's a wedge that goes on your Appendix holster, but it's a pillow. If you crack it open, there's actually just cotton in here. The same kind of cotton that would be inside your pillow. It still accomplishes the same tilt effect that a normal wedge would. So once again, this gun is gone, and I'm still able to draw very effectively. You're gonna need to couple this holster with a good belt, a good solid belt. Go to a company that actually has a reputation for making good belts. I got my belt from Ronnie South Leather. He's a local instructor that also does belts. He carries every day. He's very well trained, and the dude does fantastic work. Link is down in the description. Just don't use the belt that you get from Walmart. But Memphis, you're gonna blow your junk off. I hear that all the time. If you have a gun that's safe to carry, if you have a holster that's safe to use, and you have a method to safely put those together, it minimizes the risk. For instance, you need a gun that's safe to carry. This right here is a model of a Glock 17. It's got 3 internal safeties there. There's a firing pin safety right there inside the slide. There's a drop safety inside the frame. And then there's also a blade safety right there in the trigger. So you could drop this thing off the Empire Safe Building and it will not go off. The second thing is you need a holster that's safe to use. We just went over why this holster is terribly unsafe. Because if you press enough on the holster, it can actually press the trigger and fire the gun. Like we saw with the JM Custom Kydex holster, if you slide this into that holster, you're gonna be just fine. If that holster isn't safe to use in any position, you shouldn't put the gun in there in the first place. So this right here is the infamous box from IDPA, okay? This is the box that your gun has to be able to fit in order for you to use it in this sport. So once again, our orange gun, and I'm going to sit it inside this box. And so here, nothing can get to it. But technically, it's pointed at me, isn't it? Am I in any danger? No, because there's no way you could press the trigger. There's no way that that gun is going off. If that gun is not safe to carry, it shouldn't be safe to carry in any position, whether it be 3 o'clock or appendix carry. And if that gun does not safely protect the trigger guard, it doesn't need to be on your body at all, whether in the 3 o'clock position or in the appendix position. If you have a gun that's safe to use, and you have a holster that's safe to use, all you need to do is bring those two together in a safe manner, and you're not gonna have any problems. So in real time, what that looks like is this. All right, so let's talk about the holsters that are really gonna work out for you. As far as 3 o'clock position goes, I have direct experience with JM Custom Kydex. They make the best 3 o'clock stuff out. Tony Mayer, he himself is a guy that trains, and the dude's locked on. He knows what it takes to conceal a gun on your body and to carry it around all day comfortably. Once again, do not throw your money at Amazon and eBay. You will get junk like this. The worst part is you think you're saving money by this stuff, right? Because this right here only costs like 30 or 40 bucks. The sad part is even after you spend that money, you're still gonna have to spend money on something like this that actually works. So when it comes to appendix carry, right here, JM Custom Kydex is fantastic. They add a couple of extra features to their holster as well, such as a cut for an optic and adjustable hardware, adjustable retention. So the exact rig that I wear every single day is this one right here. This is called the PHLster Pro Series. These clips right here are called DCC Mod 4 clips. And these things are absolutely phenomenal. Like, they're extremely robust. If you look on this holster, there's not a single sharp edge anywhere on this holster. It is by far the most concealable holster that I have for my current carry gun, the Walther PDP. And you combine that with the pillow wedge from Mastermind Tactics, and you got yourself an incredibly comfortable package. So this is how I normally walk around town, just like this, with this setup right here. And so once again, I can quickly and easily get the gun out, and then safely return it back. And then once again, it's gone. And there's never been any risk of, oh, you're gonna blow your junk off. Brr. So That right there is probably the most I could possibly put into a video like this. If you're still having trouble, I would highly recommend you go to an actual instructor that knows how to carry Appendix. Someone that does it safely, comfortably, and does it every day. You know, if you're looking for other resources, you can go to the PHLster Concealment Development Workshop. I hope I said that right. They also have a really good YouTube channel right here. It's called Philly EDC. For over 10 years, he was teaching people how to make Kydex holsters that are safe and reliable. So the dude knows what he's talking about as far as concealment. So it's also the same company that made this thing. It's called the Enigma, okay? And so this right here is my wife's model. It's the Enigma for the IWI Masada. Basically a chassis for your holster that doesn't require a belt. Okay, so one thing that's really interesting is I know a lot of folks that'll wear something like this in yoga pants and still carry a full-size gun. Yeah, so this thing is called the Enigma, and it's made by the same company that makes my holster. The whole name of the company is called PHLster. So check them out, okay? Links in the description. Another resource you can go to learn more information is Lucky Gunner. You can find them right here on YouTube. There's another link in the description right there. And also, 2 YouTube channels that I would highly recommend. You can go to Alex at The Suited Shootist. Like, his sense of style is incredibly refined. Like, the dude's dapper as hell. So, you know, when it comes down to like basic EDC considerations and how to dress well while carrying, go to The Suited Shootist right here on YouTube and tell them that I sent you, okay? Another channel that I would go to, and this is something that my wife watches a lot, it's called Armed and Styled. Tessa has a fantastic delivery method. She's very patient, and she considers a lot more than I would ever think to consider. So go see my guy Alex at The Suited Shootist. Go see Tessa at Armed and Styled. Go see Lucky Gunner. All 3 of those guys are right here on YouTube, along with Philly EDC. Also, folks, let me know if you like this stuff right here. If you like watching content like this, give me a thumbs up or hit me up with a subscribe. If this isn't really something that interests you, please allow me the opportunity to improve by leaving a comment down below, okay? This is a conversation. It's not a one-way thing. I'm learning from this too. I'm learning from you guys. So give me some feedback down below. That's all I got, folks. Welcome to Memphis. Oh, you're gonna blow your junk off. Murr. If you've ever heard of guys like Plexico Burris or Akil Talib. So another thing that the gun, oh, you're gonna blow your junk off. Murr. Go to the Suited Shootist. Go to the Suited Shootist. Did I say that right? Oh, you're gonna blow your junk off. Murr.